So I originally grew up in New Jersey, where I had a really rich cultural experience, but not a lot of exposure to natural food or any kind of homesteader kind of lifestyle. And I was really yearning to get back to the land and learn to be more self-sufficient. So I did what any other 21-year-old would do. I quit my job, sold all my things, and packed up my car with my St. Bernard and my cat and whatever else would fit, which wasn't much after them. And I headed to Northern California.
If you're someone who refuses to go along to get along, if you question whether the status quo is good enough for you and your family, you want to leave this world better off than you found it, and you consider independence a sacred thing, you may be a prepper, a gardener, a homesteader, a survivalist, a farmer, a rancher, an environmentalist, or a rugged outdoorsman. This show is for those who choose the road less traveled, the road to self-reliance, for those living a daring adventure, life off the grid.
Jessicka Nebesni is the marketing strategist for Mountain Rose Herbs. She describes herself as a humble homesteader and herbal tinkerer who loves all things wild and natural. She loves to preserve food, make herbal preparations, garden, and spend time in the great outdoors. Jessicka writes many blogs for Mountain Rose Herbs, featuring her experience with herbalism, natural food prep, and body care recipes. She also helps to facilitate the partnership program at Mountain Rose Herbs and gains inspiration from all the amazing homemade goodies made in their own homesteads using herbs and spices. Jessicka, welcome to the Off the Grid Biz podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Brian.
Yeah, so let us know a little bit beyond the bio. Let us know a little bit about who you are and what you do for Mountain Rose Herbs.
So I am one of the marketing strategists here at Mountain Rose Herbs. As you mentioned, I primarily work with bloggers who create DIY content using our ingredients. And I also help with some of the PR relationships, and I write some blogs as well, which is my favorite part. I love to write. Mm-hmm. That's most of my day-to-day with Mountain Rose Herbs.
Right. How did you end up here?
So I originally grew up in New Jersey, where I had a really rich cultural experience, but not a lot of exposure to natural food or any kind of homesteader kind of lifestyle. And I was really yearning to get back to the land and learn to be more self-sufficient. So I did what any other 21-year-old would do. I quit my job, sold all my things, and packed up my car with my St. Bernard and my cat and whatever else would fit, which wasn't much after them. And I headed to Northern California. And there I did a WOOF program. And if you're not familiar with that, it stands for Worldwide Opportunities in Organic Farming. So I essentially did a work exchange on an organic farm. And it was there that I learned a tremendous amount of knowledge on gardening and food preservation. They also practice macrobiotics. So I was able to learn a lot about fermented foods, how to make them, definitely how to eat them. That was my favorite part. And then I was there for about a year, and then I was offered a great opportunity to come to Eugene, Oregon, and to maintain a 140-acre ranch where I'd be able to homestead more and really do a lot more gardening in my own personal garden. So it was another big life decision to make. And after weighing out all the options, I did decide to come to Eugene. Kind of a fun fact, one of the things on my pro list for coming to Eugene was that Mountain Rose Herbs was here. Mm-hmm. And that maybe one day I would get a job with them. And ironically, it was the first and only job that I applied to in Eugene. And I've been here for 3 years now. So yeah, that's kind of how I got to Eugene and got to Mountain Rose Herbs, and really took my city experience from New Jersey and transformed it into a more homesteading philosophy of life.
Wow, what a great story. So let me just jump right into the fact that we're talking to you because you're slated to speak at the Mother Earth News Fair in Albany, Oregon. So what are you going to be covering there?
So as I mentioned, with the organic farming that I got to experience, I learned a lot about fermented foods. And one of my, I call it my gateway preservation project, was sauerkraut. And it was so accessible for me. It really instilled a lot of confidence in my ability to create fermented foods and to make food preservation projects possible. So I'm going to be teaching how to make sauerkraut. I'll be talking about some of the basics but also how to make them unique and fun through the use of herbs and spices. No two batches of my sauerkraut have ever been the same. So I love getting started with it, and I really hope to share that with the audience and have them feel confident by the end of my class that they're able to go home and make sauerkraut on their own.
Fabulous. Beyond that, is there anything else that you hope they're going to get by watching your presentation?
I definitely want them to understand just how easy it is to make it their own. I'm going to be talking about a lot of different aspects, how to make it more crunchy, how to make it more soft, different flavor profiles of the different spices. So really, I want to give them the confidence to continue on, and I basically want them to go home and make sauerkraut after the presentation. I guess it's the really short version of that.
That's great. So have you been to any of these fairs before?
I haven't actually made it to the fair yet, but I've heard such amazing things, and I took a look at the lineup on the website, and I can't believe I haven't gone before. I mean, it's totally in line with my philosophies and my lifestyle, so I think there's going to be an incredible amount of homesteading knowledge to be shared there, and I would definitely encourage people to go and check it out. It's not expensive, so it's definitely doable for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're going to pause the conversation right there. What you're listening to right now is a special edition podcast. These episodes all have to do with the Mother Earth News Fair in Albany, Oregon of 2019. At the time I'm recording this, we have learned so much about how to take advantage of events, and I want you to be able to use this information in your own business. Go to brianjpombo.com/secrets. We are going to be putting out helpful materials on how you can use events to grow your business. When you go to this page, you will either see our latest programs, or if you make it there early enough, you will see an email address capture page. Put in your email address, and we will be sure and update you as soon as we get these out there. You're not going to want to miss this. If you get in early enough, you can get a special deal. These are principles that never go away. These programs will be based on the experience of people who have written books, spoken at the events, or exhibited there, talking about how to use events, books, and speaking, all to build your business. That's brianjpombo.com/SECRETS. brianjpombo.com/secrets. And now, back to the conversation.
Why are you doing this? What do you personally get out of it? And what does Mountain Rose Herbs get out of putting on this presentation and being seen there?
I mean, it's kind of the same for both of us, I would say. I think it's primarily just being around conscious people who are also into the natural ways of doing things. We really resonate with that audience. On a personal level, do. And also as Mountain Rose Herbs, we really resonate with the DIY people. Mm-hmm. And we love to be part of a community of resilient people who are just in line with our sustainability commitments and just really valuing the natural resources that are around us.
Who are you hoping to reach? Who's the ideal person that you're hoping to connect with, either in person or through your presentation?
So I think it really ranges. I would say people that are DIY aficionados. Mm-hmm. And then also people who are just getting started with the lifestyle, having it be so accessible to them. And, we have a booth there, so we're able to answer a lot of questions, offer some advice from our experience. I think that's really the kind of connections we're hoping to make there. And, we all have something to learn from each other. Even the person who's just starting out, sometimes the new person will ask questions. And, it kind of brings you back to the basics. And you're like, oh, yeah, I forgot about that part. Or, everyone has something to offer. And we're just really looking forward to talking to everybody there.
Yeah. So you are in Eugene. You and Mountain Rose Herbs are in Eugene. And this is going to be in Albany. So it's not too far distance for you, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's about an hour away.
Yeah, about an hour away, so that's great. Have you got to travel much to other expos or conventions or anything of that sort? Have you done anything like this before, or is this your first time?
Yeah, I've definitely done events. We primarily stay within an hour radius, but I have gone out of state before. I've been to New Hampshire for the Northeast Women's Herbal Conference, which was amazing. We didn't booth there or anything like that, but I just went as a representative of the company and, talked to a bunch of people who are just our people,
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely. Do you have any logistical tips for other people that are planning to travel and do presenting like you're doing?
that's a great question. I wish I did, but we're really lucky. We have an amazing event coordinator. His name is Mason Hutchinson, and he takes care of all of that. So we're so lucky to have him.
Yeah. Awesome. That's a tip unto itself for any of the business owners listening. Make sure you have somebody that's put aside to actually focus on that stuff for you. That's great.
It's important, he has a checklist of things that he keeps in mind and that he learns from each event that he goes to. All of those lessons are, they're kind of cumulative. So he's got it down to a science now, and he's quite incredible. So we're very lucky.
Great. So in addition to that, like I said, we have business owners and executives that listen to this podcast because we are looking at homesteading and self-reliance from a business perspective. So do you think it'd be worthwhile for them to plug into events like this?
Oh, absolutely. It's a really valuable way to reach like-minded people. And, people want to see the face behind the brand. So they want to have a personal experience. They want to have a conversation. They want to have advice from somebody who knows. So it's really important to plug into these kinds of events and be present with the people and really develop genuine connections and relationships.
Yeah. So, and as the marketing person there, I imagine that this is a huge piece of what you guys are looking at doing all year round at Mountain Rose Herbs. Is that right?
Absolutely. Yeah, we're definitely into building genuine connections. We don't just pay people to promote our products and, celebrities and all that kind of thing. We really keep it more low profile and with people that are just more connected with our genuine brand and what makes us so unique in our sustainability and our organics as well.
Well, Jessicka, I really look forward to meeting you at the fair. This is going to be my first time as well, so I can't wait to get there.
It's going to be fun. I can't wait to meet you too.
Yeah. So what could listeners do who are interested in finding out more about Mountain Rose Herbs and your products and so forth?
Yeah. So we have a website, and it's mountainroseherbs.com. We also have a customer support team. If you want to call in and have any questions, you can certainly do that. The phone number is on our website. And then we have an amazing blog with hundreds of recipes and tips and tricks to herbalism and homesteading and, different culinary recipes and that kind of thing. So definitely encourage you to check out those resources as well.
Well, thanks, Jessicka, for setting time aside to talk with us, and we'd love to have you back. Thanks for being on the Off the Grid Biz podcast.
Thank you so much, Brian, and thanks all for listening.
That was really great talking with Jessicka. I think what she represents is a huge spirit of self-reliance. I mean, you just look at the passion that she has for homesteading and natural health. I mean, this all led her to quitting her job and moving to an organic farm. But having that idea for that dream job at Mountain Rose Herbs and then actually getting it, that shows you a determined focus. That's inspiring. A second thing I wanted to point out about our conversation was her focus on using networking and creating genuine connections and unique connections, really getting down and finding that ideal person to connect with. She said that's a big piece of Mountain Rose Herbs' marketing strategy, and it's what she likes to do when she goes to events like this. It brings up the question, what are your values as a company? Does that come through in your marketing strategy? And how about the events coordinator she mentioned? That she couldn't even come up with anything that had ever gone wrong in an event because the event coordinator had done such a great job. I've heard so many good things about this company. In a future episode with Janice Cox, you could hear her discussing the fact that she's teaming up with Mountain Rose Herbs. Likewise, David and Beth Pruitt from AMP3, they told me how they were blown away by their vendor setup in past years at events like these. If you go to Mountain Rose Herbs' website, mountainroseherbs.com, you can see a whole lot of what they offer. Their title tag pretty much says it all. It's bulk organic herbs, spices, and essential oils. That's their main business. So they've got herbs and spices, teas, aromatherapy, a lot of basic ingredients that you can work with, bath and body items, containers, home goods. It just goes on and on and on. I'd love to learn some more. I look forward to meeting Jessicka and a lot of the other people at the Mother Earth News Fair. Join us again on the next Off the Grid Biz podcast, brought to you by the team at brianjpombo.com, helping successful but overworked entrepreneurs transform their companies into dream assets. That's brianjpombo.com. If you or someone you know would like to be a guest on the Off the Grid Biz podcast, go to offthegridbiz.com/contact. Those who appear on the show do not necessarily endorse my beliefs, suggestions, or advice, or any of the services provided by our sponsor. Our theme music is Cold Sun by Dell. Our executive producer and head researcher is Sean E. Douglas. I'm Brian Pombo, and until next time, I wish you peace, freedom, and success.